Welcome back. We are in the think tank at Adobe Summit 2018. My name's Gene Hammett. I'm the Managing Director of Leaders in the Trenches, a podcast. I'm here with Jessica Groopman, and she's with Kaleido Insights. Hi, Jessica.
Hi there.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here in the think tank.
Yeah, I'm glad to talk to you about some emerging technology. So what I want to start with is, can you go through some of the really emerging technologies that are really powering our economy right now?
Yeah, I mean, certainly we're seeing a tremendous amount of focus on artificial intelligence, and although there's a lot of buzz and hype around AI, it boils down to machine learning, to deep learning, to natural language processing, to computer vision, and in effect, the easiest way to think about this is we're teaching machines to see, to perceive, to talk, to listen, and to think, to cognate.
So a lot of people are scared of this, and I don't purposely have that effect, but why should they not be scared of this new change of AI?
Well, fear is fair. There are some scary elements to it, but that said, I think it's great to see a lot of applications that are solving really useful utilitarian problems. One thing that we've seen here just at Adobe Summit is, smart cropping of photos. Very simple, but takes away time. I mean, time that we spend doing things like formatting rather than being creative. And so I love those examples that are just solving very simple problems, automating the things no one really wants to do or might pass to an intern in some cases. Fear is justified, but to the extent that we can apply these technologies to just sort of clean up some of the busy work and the tedium, that's fantastic.
So I kind of take the aspect that this stuff is not going to go away. It's going to be more of a part of our lives, and it's just going to enhance our lives. Can you see a future where this AI and all the stuff that's emerging is really enhancing the way we live and the way we interact?
Sure, in many ways. I mean, certainly we see a lot of examples. One of the areas I look at is in Internet of Things, and I think it's very interesting to see now AI infusing all of our devices in our homes, right? Light bulbs and door locks and cameras and the whole concept of home automation, of responding contextually to behavioral cues or to movements and temperature, energy efficiency, kind of having that home experience become more automated. That saves time, money, convenience, more secure. That's great,
yeah.
Right? One of the areas that I don't think is talked about a lot, but I would see as a real augmentation, maybe ironic from the AI perspective, is what if we had an AI to identify our own bias? We talk about bias in AI systems as a huge problem, but AI also has this core capability of pulling in lots of contextual data across all aspects of our lives, cultural elements, regional elements. I'm waiting for someone to come up with an app to help me see my own bias.
Yeah, I mean, when you said that, it makes me think of looking at the profile of where you are socially and what you're creating, and someone actually letting you know that you're crossing the line, or you be aware of this. Is that what you're talking about?
Sure. I mean, we all have biases in all directions, no matter how much we try, and it's sort of a fantastical idea. But as we continue to automate, or rather augment, our own, intelligence and contextual awareness, that would be one that I think we could all benefit from.
So you're talking about the AI learning. We're talking about the Internet of Things. Is there anything else that's emerging that you think that is getting a bad name in the press?
Sure. I have to talk about blockchain. This is another area that I cover very closely, and is full of froth right now, and full of hype and mania and meme culture, and we're certainly seeing a lot of sort of crypto craze around Bitcoin and blockchain, and plenty of scalability issues and environmental issues. But that said, the sort of core capability of that technology of being this layer of truth, being an immutable record system that everyone has a copy of the record effectively, this is transformative. It's not the Bitcoin story, but this broader idea of a trust layer of the internet, something that we're missing today. We have lots of communications layers, communications between devices, between people, between companies, service providers, but we're still missing this trust layer. And so I'm very interested to see how the blockchain in the enterprise and even in consumer identity use cases begins to evolve over the next few years.
So let's dive into that, Jessica, because I think it's interesting. I've shied away from that conversation a lot because of the negative aspects of Bitcoin and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting to talk to you about this, because you look at this from a deep perspective. So when I think about this, how is blockchain going to change the way we are buying things, or the way we're, transacting payments, maybe even in a micro level? Have you thought about that much?
It's early days, and certainly, from an extreme vision, if you ask the real purists, it would take out the centralized institutions that we all rely on, the banks, the governments, the Googles, for example. I don't think we'll be there anytime soon, but that is to say, a peer-to-peer payment, a sharing economy without any centralized Airbnbs or Ubers, but effectively we transact immediately between each other because of that trust element.
Yeah.
In the meantime, and it's hard to say what the time frame of this will be, but in the meantime, as companies begin to understand this opportunity, likely more quickly than consumers will, because it's a complex technology, we see some interesting applications around product provenance. From a customer experience standpoint, we trust companies that they are producing what they say they're producing, but having a way,
right,
not only for the company to see across their own supply chain, but to offer that as an end customer experience, even tokenize that, offer campaigns around that. Interesting. Also something that, taking a decentralized record of product provenance, if I'm tracking face cream or bananas or any product for that matter, we can, as consumers, have 30 different apps for 30 different products. It's never going to happen. But if you have a sort of a record or a place to go where you can trust the information about any product that you consume,
yeah,
but it's one place to go, that again adds a layer of trust to our consumption habits, no matter what that product is, whether it's a diamond or shoes, right?
Well, that makes me think about one thing, and we're about to wrap up here, so this last question, and maybe have to be quick here, but a lot of people fear this new emerging technologies are coming on. I see it as opportunity. Can you tell us what opportunities are available to people? We're not talking about losing jobs, we're talking about the opportunities to step in and be more creative and innovative. What are you seeing?
Yeah. Many. I mean, certainly what I mentioned around taking out some of that tedium is really important. Spending more time on creative tasks, spending more time actually doing what we want to do. I mean, one of the areas we're seeing this from a data science perspective is, as a data scientist, not spending so much time just cleaning data, but actually doing data science, doing what you have a degree in, doing what you want to do. I think there's a tremendous amount of opportunity in other nations and other developing countries to sort of leapfrog some of the issues that we have, that we take for granted here in the West. For example, from an identity standpoint, having a shared system of identity in third world countries or in places where currencies are more liquid or even government structures are more liquid, that's tremendous value, far beyond even a supply chain provenance, right? That's tremendous value for those individuals.
So a lot of opportunities coming out of these emerging technologies. I just wanted to say thank you for being here with me and sharing this at the think tank here at Adobe Summit.
Yeah, it's been great. Thank you.
All right.